Salute all my generals, all my lions, all my real men, all my queens, all my princesses, all my lionesses. This is Lions and Men. Y'all already know what it is. We're not promoting violence in any shape, way, or form. All we're doing is providing y'all with actual details on events that took place while I was incarcerated in Rikers Island and in other facilities. Let's get into it. Gang culture, New York City, New York, Rikers Island. Gang culture started way before I touched the island. I didn't touch Rikers Island until 1996. Adolescent, 16 years old. That's the first time I touched Rikers, C-74. The gang culture was very thick by that time. And it was mostly Land Kings, Bloods, handful of Crips, and 5%ers. You know, everything else, 5%ers, Muslims. The Muslims ain't really necessarily gang. But the gang culture was already thick. You hear two different versions of how all these gangs started in New York City, Rikers Island. And everything leads to race and oppression. One side saying the other side was oppressing this side. So this is why we started. The other people saying, yeah, but the real reason we started was because this side. So in a nutshell, for example, the Kings started supposedly in New York City, in New York State, in Rikers Island, because the Latinos, not just the Puerto Rican, Latinos, period, were being oppressed by black individuals. Period. That's a fact. That's what the originators to the Land Kings say is the reason why it started up. Because the Latinos were being oppressed by the blacks. Not the Bloods, the blacks. So, then, a couple of years later, after the Kings started, the Bloods started saying because they was being oppressed by the Land Kings. Got it? So that's how supposedly the Kings became or started initially in New York. And then the Bloods, years down the road, how they started. But peep game, remember, it wasn't no Bloods before the Kings in New York. It was just all the blacks, plural. So, and the blacks always have the numbers. African Americans have the numbers in New York City. They always do. Brown is right there, but you know, black always dominates with the numbers. So now, when you have the Bloods, it's not all the blacks that's going to war with the Kings. It's specifically, the Bloods is designed supposedly specifically to eliminate, to eradicate, to defend, whatever, to go to war with the Kings. Now, some Bloods say that it wasn't just the Kings, that it was the Latinos, period, that was oppressing the blacks, not just the Kings. So, we could go back and forth. It's debatable. The one thing that is not debatable is that it doesn't matter what you rep. It doesn't matter how you look, what's your skin complexion. If you move like a lion, you're going to get your respect. And if you don't, then you're not. Period. Now, the gang culture is always going to be you know, it's always going to have its gangs. It's always going to have its extreme bad apples. Because if it's gangs, period, you can say it's a bad thing, period. You know, people going to be like, it's a gang. All gangs are bad, right? So, but, you know, believe it or not, you got dudes in these gangs that like myself, I didn't consider myself like a angel, but I felt like I was a good dude. I was a real nigga. I got to a point where I wasn't running around bullying dudes and extorting dudes, but I was before when I was younger. But I grew out of it. But I never said I was an angel. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of racists involved in both sides of the party. You got blood dudes that are racist and just don't like Spanish people. They hold something against them. And you got Latinos. Now, I mean, especially some older heads, older than me, even some of my age too, that don't like black people. They're like, I don't like, fuck with the Morenos, you know what I'm saying? And it's just what it is. I had a lot of bros that I didn't fuck with. I ain't fuck with like that because I knew these niggas was like, they was racist. I used to hear shit they said. I used to be like, yo, bro, like I used to not like it. And I get it that, you know what I mean, I'm Latin King and all that, but still, bro, like, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, we all human, man. I'm not with that racist shit. We all bleed. But those are individuals exist in all pockets of the gang culture. You know, they're there. And in prison, everything is segregated. Everything is segregated. Automatically, you know, Latinos feel more comfortable with the Latinos around them. And the same goes for the blacks. You see the blacks, I mean, going through to the black ones. Sometimes a lot of people, when they come through, niggas be like making noises like, yo, I mean, whatever, to see if there's any kings in there. What's popping? Any hat, where the hats at? And they try to see any homies is in there. You know, like, you got the Trinis doing, everybody got their little lingo. They go on the bill to see who, they go automatically, they go there. They don't hear nothing. Niggas like, oh shit. Well, nah, yeah, you by yourself. Sit down somewhere. I used to always appreciate going to a house where it wasn't a lot of my bros because I used to be alright, I'm good. It's when I get more of these niggas around with, then shit start going left because niggas start acting up sometimes. It's a fact. You get the numbers, niggas start acting crazy. So it's debatable on how, you know, really the Kings started, the blood started. Well, it's not really debatable with the Kings, actually. It's not. It started because the Latinos was being oppressed by the blacks. It wasn't no Bloods, though, so you got to keep in mind. It's generalizing it to all, yeah, all African Americans that was incarcerated. The majority of the blacks was taking advantage of a lot of Latinos at that time. This is like the 80s and all that shit, you feel me? So, that's how the Kings officially started. But then the Bloods saying that they started because of the Kings. But the Bloods wasn't all about black power in New York City. Bloods wasn't activists. They wasn't revolutionaries. The motherfuckers was just coming at the Kings and extorting their own people and cutting their own people too. They ain't just have to eat a king. They just had to eat food, period. You cut one of these dudes, it's the same, another black dude, because he a bozo or he owe you a pack of cigarettes, he didn't pay you, shoot the nigga bang. Or because he looking at you too long. Or for whatever reason, it wasn't like they was for they people. They was for the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too much into details about the Bloods shit because that's they shit, you feel me? I know a lot about it because I was around the motherfuckers the whole time. Like the big dogs, little dogs, I was with them. And at the point, niggas was like this. So it's like, I'm hearing this, I'm there, I'm saying this shit, you know? But, that is their business. All I'm saying, I'm talking in general, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, the last thing I say on this when it comes to the homies will fuck shit up with them. Because they had a movement and they was taking care of their own. The Bloods was taking care of their own and they was stupid deep. They was getting mad numbers. They had mad different hoods at one point. The shit that fucked them up was when OG Mac got kicked out the way. And all that shit, when that happened, everything went left with them niggas. Everything. OG Mac is the reason why the war stopped between the Kings and the Bloods. Now, I ain't gonna get into all the details with Mac and his case and them saying he a rat and this and that, third, boom, 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 bada bing. Like, I get it. I get it. But when you got a motherfucker that's keeping shit together, I mean, I guess by at all costs, you know, and then motherfucker ends up getting kicked out the whip because he did shit that motherfuckers just wasn't trying to hear. It was a rap because now niggas is all power hungry, right? You know what I mean? And now niggas is set tripping and all type of shit's going on now. You feel me? Like, that's how all this man shit started going crazy in there. And it was the Bloods against the Bloods. That shit went from the Kings and the Bloods to the Bloods against the Bloods. Like, example. You know what I mean? Gang culture. Wyoming Correctional Facility. We got an alliance, a treaty already with the homies. I'm in the house with one of the main big homies, West. Right? And we got a treaty with the Mexican MS-13 niggas, with the Trinis also. You know what I mean? And a situation pops off, right? Where some blood niggas come, right? And motherfuckers got dirt on them, right? But the nigga didn't want to lose, you know what I mean, none of the soldiers for what like that he had in the spot where the homies was at. So we had a thing where basically, you know what I mean, because we used to look to put in work. This is real talk. We used to look to put in work every day. Be like, yo, what we gonna do today? Who we gonna get today? Every day. Every fucking day, my nigga. We was looking for somebody. So the nigga West approaches me. He's like, yo, Chulo, I got these 2 plates. I got, you know what I mean, I was wondering if you could take them off my hand. You already know I got you. And what he mean by that is not paying me. Even though if he wanted, he was gonna set me out. But he always set it out. We always show love. But he just saying, when I got bandits coming through, any of my bros come through, or somebody that come through, I need to get the fuck up out of there. He'll get them up out of there. They'll take care of it. And we was doing that. The whole time we was there. We was doing that. So he comes to me. He's like, he got 2 plates. I was like, yeah, I'll take both those off your hands. No problem, I got you. So he gives me all the information on where these dudes is at. So I'm focused on getting them in the yard, right? And or on the walkway. So we end up doing the walkway on one and the yard on the other one. So we go to the walkway and we go on the chat. Duke is like right next to my house. Now he's nervous around his own. He ain't thinking about no Spanish dudes or nothing like that, no gang niggas or nothing like that. So I already knew who he was. Dudes already done pointed out to me. So I'm like, yo, let me go to the mess hall. I'm gonna catch this nigga on the way out the mess hall. You know what I'm saying? It's like I already done ate and all that. So we go. I forget who I had with me. It could have been Bucci. It could have been Gato. It could have been 100,000. I'm not sure. So I end up leaving the mess hall. And when we leaving the mess hall, it's a very long walkway. The walkway from the fucking where the mess hall is located at all the way to the back of Wyoming is like literally a mile walk. So you gotta walk a mile long. So while you walking that mile, it's a lot of houses still coming in and still going out. And this was around lunchtime, I believe, too. So it wasn't even dark time. So 1, 2, 3, he's walking, we walking. Things get done. He gets handled, and he's holding his cheek, And next thing you know, he's looking around. I'm like, yo, don't make it hot. Don't blow it up, son. Just walk. Keep walking. Keep walking. To his credit, he was walking. He didn't run. He could have, like, dudes usually they boom, they boogie. He held it down to the point where I think Gato was with me. I even told Gato, I'm like, yo, let me get a washcloth. Sometimes you have rags on us and all that. He gave me a rag. I'm like, yo, here, throw that on your cheek. And he put that shit on his cheek and shit. And I'm like, yo, just walk slow, dog. I mean, don't blow it up. And we just kept it moving. Just like that. That was the first one. And that was on the walkway. That was at lunchtime. We still had another one to take care of in the mess hall. I mean, in the yard. If we make it to the yard now, because we just made it hot. That's how it is. Volume 2 coming up next.